Hi everybody, this is Jerry Tobio with the Creative Resources Group. What we do for a living and the reason why we make these videos is to help you, the leader of a media company, the leader of an ad tech company, create sustained revenue growth. And here we are getting ready to start a new year, and we want to help you think about the degree to which you are ready to create the demand that you're going to need to create in order to make your numbers here in 2024. You see, we believe that the proactive creation of demand that you and your team do, that's the fuel that you put in your tank to create the growth that you're going to need for your company. And as you will see here in a minute, when we talk about the context, we are living in a world where the only demand that you are going to be able to count on, the only demand that you will be entitled to, is the demand that you and your team proactively create. Let's take a look at the context. Guys, we are swimming in media inventory. We are swimming in advertising inventory. I'm sure you saw the article in the Wall Street Journal about the advertising business. We're living in seemingly unlimited supply. Everybody who's already a player is coming out with new offerings, which is more inventory in the ecosystem. And then you've got the tremendous growth in retail media. Did you ever think that you were going to be competing with all those retailers? As a matter of fact, that growth is so dramatic that they're expecting it to outpace all of television and CTV here within the next 5 years. Unlimited supply. But then there's another wrinkle that you need to consider, which is if you're in the programmatic area, you're going to hear that the Association of National Advertisers is recommending to their membership, this is an important trade association, recommending that your clients use fewer partners to achieve their goals next year. And at the local level, the situation is similar. If you look at the reports the Borrell and Associates have done for years, they've been tracking the number of partners that local buyers engage with, and the number continues to shrink. I think it's down to 1 or 2. So you see how we're kind of in a perfect storm here, right? Unlimited supply and fewer partners being used, which all adds up to a buyer's market with all the pressures that come with it. That's why we want you to think about the proactive creation of demand and the degree to which you are happy that enough of it is happening in your company. I've got 3 thoughts that I want you to think about and perhaps 3 recommendations. Number 1, we need to spend more of our time, literally more minutes, in the proactive creation of demand. But I want to make sure that we're not misunderstood here so that we can get on the same page. See, when we say proactively creating demand, we're not talking about some useless concept like hustle or intensity. We're not talking about something vague. We're actually talking about proactive, deliberate, repeatable behaviors that you and your team engage in to get a customer to give you a new project that they haven't given you yet, okay? So let's define it that way. What exactly are we doing in a meeting, in a conversation, in an email, in a QBR to get a customer, whether it's new customer or an existing customer, to give us a new project that they haven't given us before? And to make it really real, to anchor it into the real world, think about a meeting, think about a conversation with a client. Think about 30 minutes, either a conversation with a customer, an advertising agency, maybe a QBR, something that happens on a regular basis. And let's look at it. Let's analyze it. You can watch the meeting either by being there or watching it on Gong, which is one of our favorite tools. If you actually look at that meeting, it's easier for you to look at it and say, okay, how much time are we satisfying demand, responding to an RFP? How much time are we maximizing demand, trying to create incremental opportunities within the same campaign? But how much time are we actually engaging in having a conversation with a customer where we discover a project they can give us that they hadn't given us before? We recommend more minutes doing that, and only you can judge how much of that is currently happening in your business. Let's talk about recommendation number 2. What we observe is that the overwhelming majority of the proactive creation of demand that's happening right now is focused on the pursuit of new customers, new logos, which is fine. But see, the problem with new business efforts is that they universally create small customers. We've measured it. We've got lots of research that shows that the overwhelming majority of the customers that we interact with when we are pursuing new business are small, they're going to stay small, and they're going to be gone by the end of the year. Now, the problem with that, the biggest problem with that, is the opportunity cost. See, because the time that you're doing that, the time that you're focusing your creation on demand on small clients is being robbed from time that you could be spending creating demand among your key accounts, among your biggest clients. Let me ask you from a competitive point of view, as we go into 2024, which customers do you want to make sure that you protect? Which customers do you want to make sure that they don't get stolen by a competitor? The big ones or the little ones? The answer, of course, is the big ones. Well, one of the best ways to protect your current key accounts is by making sure that you are proactively creating demand within them, making sure that they're giving you new projects that they hadn't given you before. The more projects they give you, the less likely it is that they are going to churn. Which brings me to recommendation number 3. If you agree that we're going to increase the number of minutes that we're creating demand, and if you agree that we're going to create demand among our key accounts, then we need to find a way to change the conversation so that it becomes more about them than it is about us. Now look, we know, because we see it, that there is a lot of creation of demand that happens when you have new offerings. You have a new product, you have a new service, you have something new that you want to talk to your customers about. That's rational. They should know about your capabilities. But in addition to that, we need to make sure that we're spending enough time understanding them. What challenges are they facing? What's their competitive situation? What opportunities do they have? What are their dreams? What are their aspirations? What projects are they working on that we can help them with? See, there needs to be enough time dedicated to understanding them and not just the capabilities that we want to sell them, not just the products and tools that we want them to be aware of. If you can get your team to increase the amount of time that they're spending creating demand, increase the amount of time that they're spending creating demand with their key accounts, and making sure that we make those conversations about them and their needs and their projects that we can help them with, you will dramatically increase the likelihood that you will make your goals that you have set for 2024. That is our best advice. Happy New Year.